and I was fortunate to make make it up to the number 10 on the list. And I've been doing this Chamber of Commerce business going on 23 years this coming June, and it's never been about me. It's always about the members and the issues as it relates to African Americans here in the state of New Jersey, making sure that we're all fully aware of our relevance to not only the state of New Jersey, but to America. You talk about make America great again, but for black folks, there would be no America. So I make no apologies for that. And so as the president of this organization, it's part of my job to let the world know every day about the greatness of blacks in New Jersey and America and what we bring to the world. Well, I want to welcome our guest, Mr. Moe McCoy. He's a filmmaker, philanthropist, owner, Fireproof TV Films. Welcome to the Empowered Hour.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here, sir.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. Where you from? Where did you go to school? What institutions you went to for education? And did you come from a big family, a small family? And what did you do leading up to this? That's a mouthful.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole lot, but I'm here to talk about it. And I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where I was born and raised.
Floyd Mayweather?
Yep, I grew up with Floyd Mayweather.
The Williams sisters?
Yep.
Okay.
Marvin Sapp.
Go ahead, brother.
Al Green.
Come on now.
Yeah, I can keep going.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so that was basically my upbringing, and then I got into music at a young age and got a record deal with a small company called KJ Records. Mm-hmm. And then I was pursuing music, but I did pick up a camera for the record company because they needed us to have a music video.
Okay.
And so I did some research, and I asked Mr. West, his name was Price West. I said, "Sir, could I shoot that video for you?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're saving me some money." So I learned how to do it, and I did it. And then ever since then, I've been shooting video alongside with my music and stuff like that.
Wow. So Grand Rapids, it's a little cold there. You got the Great Lakes, right? They're coming there?
Great Lakes. Lots of snow.
So, yeah, lots of snow. So, formal training for this, or how did you pick up the gift?
Well, I volunteered at GRTV. It was a public access channel in Michigan, and they gave me the opportunity to work with the equipment hands-on, and I learned how to edit. I learned how to do videography, and I just got real familiar by hands-on, just using the equipment.
So isn't it amazing when you give a person an opportunity to do something that they have a passion and desire for? And just talk a little bit how the creativity comes in. When does that kick in? I know we've kind of got right into it.
Yeah, well, with filmmaking, to me, the whole thing is like art. It's art because, okay, we go out and we film everything we need to film, but then when it gets to the edit suite, that's when the magic happens.
Gotcha.
Because we tell a story out of the footage that's there, and it's not necessarily always what's on the script.
So a lot of the stuff ends up on what they say the cutting floor, huh?
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
talk to us a little bit about some experiences in the music industry and where did this name Fireproof originate from?
Okay, yeah. So I was always ambitious as a kid, and when we got the record deal, I knew we had to go out and do a promo tour. Mm-hmm. So me and an artist named Javen Love, he was my partner, and he was a young guy that wanted to just kind of get out the streets and just get into and doing some rap. So we were doing clean rap, and we were going around rapping at churches all over the country.
Wow, that's kind of an oxymoron now.
Yeah.
Clean rap? Oh,
yeah,
God.
Clean rap. Yeah. So, and then we were doing shows together, but we were two separate entities, and they challenged us to become a group and to come with one name that described both of us in our journey. And we went through thousands and thousands of names, and we just kept getting stuck on Fireproof, just because of the story of the story in the Bible of Shadrach,
Meshach, and Abednego. Went down in the fire. Okay.
Yep. So they were put in the oven. They were put in the oven, but they didn't get burnt.
Yes.
And I felt like the challenges we had while we were touring, we were the van would break down, and whatever we made the first night, that's how much it cost to fix the van.
Wow.
And, things like that. It was just challenge after challenge that we had to overcome, and I just felt like that made us fireproof as well.
Well, you know, it tells our listeners that you were doing more than having clean rap at the church. You were listening to some of the sermons, if you could connect it back to that reference with Daniel and later on Daniel and the Lions Den. But let's talk about, you launched this Fireproof radio show in 2005.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the focus of the show was, what were you trying to accomplish?
Basically, with the Fireproof radio show is to just get the word out about the films that we're making, and play music, and then just also with films I use independent music, so give those artists a chance to be on the radio.
So let's back up a little bit, because when you came in, I was hitting you like a fire hose. So we'll slow down a little bit. You come from a big family, small family?
I'm an only child, but
wow.
I have 3 half brothers from my dad, and then I have 2 step brothers and 2 stepsisters.
Well, you still got an extended family.
Yeah.
So how did your upbringing and your first film? Let's talk about your first film. Whatever, give us the name of that. But how did that come about? And then any part of your upbringing, was that factored into that film or your filmmaking in general?
Yes. Okay, so my first film was called Tomorrow's Never Promised. And it was about a rap group that got a big record deal, but one of the members quit and wanted to start a church. And so it was a drama about our choices that we make. So where I got the idea to make the movie is I was on tour, and we just got off tour, and we were going to be home for 3 months. So we said, we have to do something, And
wow.
I signed up for a sales seminar, and I wanted to go in there and learn more about sales. And my partner, he said, I don't want to go in there. I said, well, you got to do something constructive.
Right.
And then I said, we should make a movie. And he said, okay. I said, you write it, and I'll shoot it. And I went into the sales meeting, came out, and he had the movie Tomorrow's Never Promised written. I said, okay.
Wow.
So,
and your films in length typically are how long?
Feature films.
Okay.
About 111 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, to date, you've written how many and produced how many films?
18 films.
Okay.
18. And I have two films that are distributed worldwide.
Okay, you want to name them?
Yes, The Perfect Romance.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
It's a romantic comedy starring Brandon Crayshawn and Nisha Nichols, and myself as well. And we made that in 2014. It got picked up by Maverick Films in 2018. I was just still pushing it, and then it got picked up. And so then it hit worldwide, coast to coast, with Walmart, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon Prime, Roku, Hulu.
Wow.
Hit almost every VOD platform. So, but you can look at that right now on Amazon Prime. And I
may have to check that out. I'm sure when we leave here, I'm going to get a little more detail.
Yeah.
Because, part of what I do here, I'm an advocate for black business, right? And that's what we do organizationally. And this show is a platform to get the word out. We're working on our own TV show as well, which we should hopefully be rolling out before this year is out.
Oh, that's awesome.
So connecting with you tonight is not by coincidence. I'm inspired, and I'm listening to you intentionally because ultimately we're going to be doing something similar down the road.
Absolutely. I'd love to help with that as well.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
you heard it first, right? But, the film festivals that you hear around the country and other parts of the world, do you frequent those as well? Which ones do you frequent, and why should someone go to those venues?
I haven't went to any film festivals until this.
The one in Miami a couple times, and kind of stumbled on that, so it was not something intentional. My son lives in Miami, and there were some other colleagues of mine that happened to be in Miami while I was there, and they said, hey, why don't you come check this out? So we're going to go to our break here, and we're going to come back. Mr. Moe McCoy, a filmmaker, philanthropist, owner, with the Crossroads Theater in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And they're going to be extending to Mr. Washington the Isaac Davis and Ruby Dee Award for all his years and being an actor. And so I'm a part of the committee that's hosting this distinguished gentleman. He's one of my favorite actors, and we encourage you to go to our website as well to get some additional information. So without further ado, let's talk to back to Mr. McCoy. So let's continue about the filmmaking. Your thoughts about how the industry's changed. Boys in the Hood back in the day, that was kind of a groundbreaking film, and of course Spike Lee, what he did over the years. But now we're getting more people like yourself who has found out how to get into this high capitalized industry with a lot of barriers.
Yeah.
Talk to someone who might be listening that had the same desires that you had. Give them some advice.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I just feel like, what Hollywood is doing, I'm not really interested in that. I have my own process to filmmaking that we came up with over the years, just making films. Excuse me. And we know it works and doesn't work. And I would just say to people out there that's inspiring to be a filmmaker or be in the film industry, because there's a lot of jobs in the film industry. I would say you don't have to. You can go to casting calls and go out there and see if you can get in, or you can just pick up your phone and start recording. We say ABR, always be recording.
Oh, I love it.
That's you can make a movie with your phone. I can make a movie right now with my phone.
Well, let's, we talk about the inherent barriers in being in the so-called big industry. You've had your personal trials and tribulation, but you had a goal. You had a desire to do so. How did you press through reaching your goal with all of life's challenges?
That's interesting because I've had a lot of life challenges, a lot of them. To me, it's just taking it day by day, just day by day. You wake up. If you can't control a situation, you might not want to put too much energy into that.
I love it.
So then you could just wipe that off your worry list right there.
I love it.
And then the things you can control, you try to just work on them step by step. And as a businessman, I work on my business every day too. It's hard and do as much as possible to move the ball forward every day.
So you talked a little bit about continuing to work on your craft to be the best you can be, but also, what do you do with it? How do you deal with the haters and the folks, the doubting Thomases that, you come in, you're excited, you're putting together this project, and you got a lot of energy behind it, and you see a clear pathway. And then you're around these folks who's trying to pull you off your trajectory.
First, I wouldn't hang out with no haters. Second, I'm not. Their job is necessary too, because a hater, when a hater talks about you, he is going to spread the word to more people, and then they're going to do their own research. because you can't just go off of what somebody says. You're gonna.
Well, we hope
you gotta
not.
Yeah, you're not smart if you do. But you have to find out for yourself, and then that just for every hater, I get two new fans.
Gotcha.
And then I also look at it as a necessary thing. To me, it's not important about likes or thumbs up or thumbs down. Those are reactions, and people have opinions. So if there's a thumb up or a thumb down or a bad comment, it's not really going to bother me in business. You got to have tough skin and just really, really focus on the actual people that are wanting your product or your service. You know what I mean?
What is there any source of inspiration for you to get you, focused and motivated to pursue higher heights and deeper depths?
Well, my foundation is God,
Mm-hmm.
and what motivates me every day is just knowing where I can go with the films. I have a goal. I was inspired by motivational speakers,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds. But one of them said to me to take your goal and upsize it. Just make your goal bigger.
Mm.
So at that point, I was thinking, I'm going to make 10 films.
Right.
I'm making 10 films. So I was excited about that. And he said, well, is that a challenge for you?
Mm.
And I was thinking, no, not really. So he said, put a 0 behind that. And so that's where I came up with, I'm making 100 films.
Gotcha.
100 feature films. So I'm at 18 right now. And we just wrapped on a kids movie called Spring Break.
Mm-hmm.
And that was starring my son, Real Love McCoy, and Terrence Banks and Andrea Tyler, and a whole bunch of kids.
Well, how did you feel when your film was picked up on, you said Hulu and Walmart and
Mm-hmm.
those national recognizable platforms? What was your reaction to that, given, where you started?
Well, Walmart was one of my ultimate goals.
Okay, check that out.
I was like, I have to get my product in Walmart because there's all kinds of DVDs in there. Why not mine?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing the research. And that was the hardest research I could find. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like so many steps to get it in there. And then it's just like while I was on the journey towards getting into Walmart, boom, I met Maverick Films, Doug Schwab's, and our conversation was, he said, well, what are some of your goals? I said, well, I want to make 100 films and I want to get my movies into Walmart. And he was like, well, that's great. I've made 800 films and all my movies are in Walmart. You know what I mean? So us working together, you already achieved that goal.
Wow, that's phenomenal. It goes back to what the earlier suggestion you got. Put another 0 or a larger goal, and if you're the smartest guy in the group, get in another group.
Exactly.
You got to continue to expand.
Absolutely.
Your circle of influence and relationships.
Yes.
We talked about the haters earlier, and I often say that, if you want to fly high, fly with eagles.
Yeah.
Because people hang out with buzzards. Buzzards hang out with dead people, folks who are not going anywhere. So you're
right
on your route somewhere. We got about a couple minutes left. Talk to our listeners about, one, if they're interested in contacting you, how to contact you. If there's a particular film that you encourage them to view, how do they get their hands on it?
Okay, so to contact me, I'm on all social media, all social networks, Moe McCoy or Mo Money McCoy, or you can just Google me. I'm there. I'm there on purpose so that you can reach me. I do casting calls. I try to shoot movies in different cities. So I'm coming to pretty much every state to shoot a movie.
Well, New Jersey just launched its film credits.
Oh, wow.
So they got some incentives to do films here. So
I'd love to do a movie here.
Yeah, well, look, we need to put you in touch with some state officials and get you positioned, because I think who's just shooting a movie here in Newark. It's a West Side Story.
Okay.
I say Spielberg is in Newark shooting that now.
Sweet.
So I'm from the city of Trenton, so maybe you can find how to really put some varnish on that city and shoot a movie there.
Yeah, we'll do something. We're gonna put it together for sure.
So you still got the floor. We got a few seconds.
Okay, so
left
go
here.
see the movie The Perfect Romance on Amazon Prime. A lot of people got Amazon Prime, so go to Amazon Prime. It's called The Perfect Romance, starring Brandon Crayshawn, Nisha Nichols, Moe McCoy, Terrence Banks. And be on the lookout for the Frequent Visitors movie coming this first quarter of 2020. Our new movie starring Andrea Tyler, written and starring Andrea Tyler. So I'm excited about the future, and let's I always say, love more, laugh more, give more, and you'll live more.
And we didn't really talk about the philanthropy. We still got time here. They haven't given me the hook yet.
Okay, one of my ideals was hoodies for the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
In Michigan, it gets really, really cold in the winter, and a lot of homeless people die. And one of the things I wanted to do is just help people be warm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we have our own hoodies, and we have people donating hoodies, and we just go downtown and give them to people so they can be warm.
I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Most folks who are successful in life, true successful people, are givers. You can't receive with a closed hand, right?
Yeah.
A good friend of mine says, bring some, take some, leave some, there'll always be some.
Yeah.
Dr. John
Like
Boyd,
that.
he's president of the Black Farmers.
Wow.
He made that statement. And, you know, the more, given you have a Christian foundation, giving is the ultimate way to receive all your blessings.
Absolutely.
And so hearing that from you, and I think that's why you're blessed, because you're a guy that's willing to help others who's less fortunate, and you're free spirit, right? So
Absolutely.
We're honored to have you here, and look forward to fostering a relationship with you and all that you're involved with, and hopefully we can get you here in New Jersey to shoot a film or two and be a part of your success, because
Absolutely.
I'm encouraged just to have you on the show tonight.
And I'm blessed to be here, so I'm looking forward to what we can do together.
Well, we're going to
tell stories.
We're going to do it. This is John Harmon here on the Empowerment Hour every Monday evening, 6 to 7 p.m. on 920 a.m. and 920thejersey.com. And special thanks to our guest, Mr. Moe McCoy, for being here in the studio with me this evening. And we look forward to working with him. Please follow up on his suggestions. Until next Monday, have a good evening.
Great show. Yeah.
It's a wrap.
We made it. We started off at your office in Trenton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
At 6 o'clock. It was like, oh no, yeah.
Well, at least somebody was there to tell you, huh?
Yeah.
How was the traffic coming up?
Oh, it wasn't no problem. It was
Yeah.
a breeze. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was a breeze.
Man, I'm so glad to have met you. And I've been traveling the last few weeks, so Nicole, that young lady is like phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So she sets this all up. All I got to do is show up, get the script,
Hey,
and I'm here.
that's
I'm
all
here.
right. Yeah.
So, you want to get a picture?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got your camera to him, and he's really into entertainment. They have a whole. See you later.
Oh, that's a heavy dude. Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.
Too. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of. Just go to your left.
Okay.
Left and then to your right. The right here.
All right.
What's the brother name? Harry Lennox. Have you heard of him? He plays on the Blacklist.
Oh,
He
okay.
was the Ray Charles in the Ray Charles movie. He was the manager for Ray Charles. that
Oh,
came
yeah,
out here.
yeah.
Yeah, but Harry is a mutual friend of. No, right out this way. Yeah, he's a mutual friend of Larry and I, and he. Harry did a project with